Hey guys, I'm back. Some of you saw some pictures I posted last week of some really awesome sourdough bread that I made, and were asking me about a recipe, etc., etc. I got it actually out of a book from Kindle, and it's all about basically rustic breads and things like that. And the whole thing about this recipe is it's a no-knead recipe, super duper easy. I've kind of adjusted it. I've been playing with it myself, just to try different things mostly, but I'm still sticking with the mother rule for the most part. Just to recap, just to go over real quick, I currently have, well, the recipe calls for basically it's 6, 2, 2, 13. That's all you gotta remember. Super duper easy. 6 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of yeast, and 13 cups of flour. AP flour. The recipe was actually designed for AP flour, but you know, like I said, experiment. You know, see what works for you. So, like I said, you can experiment, do whatever works for you. I've been trying, like I said, playing around with it a little bit. What I did last week when I thought the bread came out really awesome, and so I tried the same thing similar this week. I did a yeast starter. I took 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of water and a package of active dry yeast, and I made a starter yesterday just to make, I like to proof it to make sure that it's working well, and I've been just leaving it out, experimenting, like I said, leaving it out. I could actually feed it and probably turn this into a sourdough pretty easily. You could jump start it by adding a little yogurt. Some people will use a little bit of vinegar, and let that. But so I should, if I really wanted to do a sourdough, I really should keep this going for a few days and keep feeding it every day. I also added just a half a teaspoon of sugar in here, also, just to feed the yeast, really. Oh, smells good. So that's going to be the starter there. So I've kind of adjusted the flour accordingly for the extra water. Instead of cutting back on like one of the containers of water, I've actually just added a little bit more flour. Now, the other thing that I did this week is I used 4 cups of bread flour and 2.5 cups of AP. I could adjust the ratios. I figured I'd try that first. I think the bread flour is going to give it a nice spring and a little bit more dense than just like the regular AP, but who knows, we'll see. So anyway, let's get back to this. So what I have here is my 6.5 cups of flour. It's just these. I just did the scoop and sweep method. Don't pack it down. You don't need to do anything like that. Just scoop it into your thing, and where it's a little, and then just take a knife and scrape it over the top just to level it off and put it in. Actually, since I don't have my measuring cups right now, I've been using this 2-cup little cup here that I have. So we have that. Then to that we're going to add, and I only had one of these. We're going to add, here's 8 ounces of water. And I got to do this 2 more times because I forgot. And I know this is an 8-ounce bottle, so that's why I'm using that. So there's 2, and 1 more, and 1 more. There we go. There's 3. And we're going to add about a teaspoon of salt, which I'll make this easy. That way you guys can see. We'll just do that. Usually I would just kind of toss it in, to be honest with you. Eyeball it. Oops. So there's our salt. I'll clean that up in a minute. I gotta put the phone, I'm gonna have to put the camera down anyway while I'm mixing. So we have salt, we have everything else there, everything looks good. I'm going to set this down and start adding my yeast. So let's see, we're going to just set this down right here, and hopefully, actually we'll set it down over here. I think that'll work. There we go. We'll get that salt, and we're going to start just mixing just this flour water mixture here. I may need to add a little bit more. All you gotta do is incorporate it. You don't need to, like I said, there's no kneading, there's no going nuts over it, not a whole lot of work. You just want to incorporate the liquid into the flour. Now, like I said, I added a little extra flour in here, so it's actually super dense because I wanted to make up for my cup of water here with my yeast starter. So it's actually really kind of stiff. So we're going to just kind of mix this up a little bit. And we're going to add it right in here as such. There we go. And we're going to just continue to incorporate this. This is supposed to be a wet dough by design. Yeah, there we go. So don't worry if it looks like it's kind of runny or anything like that. It's supposed to be kind of, like I said, a wet dough. So, and also once she sits for a while, it'll solidify a little more. It'll kind of, in the gluten, once the gluten starts to relax, build and then relax, actually I should say. So you're going to get plenty of gluten strength with this without the kneading or anything like that. Got a little bit more flour on the bottom here. I want to make sure it's incorporated. There we go. It's going to be a sticky, like I said, it's going to be a sticky dough, but it will work out in the end. Alright, there we go. We'll just get that down in there. Now we're going to let that sit. Now the key to this is you want to let it sit out for at least a couple of hours before you do anything with it. I like to keep it out for about, like I said, 24 hours or so. And we'll just kind of let it settle in. Should be good there. It's looking pretty darn good there. I don't think I need to add anything else. Yeah, it's a good wet dough, and that's going to settle in nicely, but it's not too wet, which is good. One more quick thing I wanted to mention to you: water. Use filtered water or spring water, like a bottle of spring water. Don't use regular water from the tap for your yeast starter or anything like that. Chlorine and chloramines in the regular unfiltered water will very well kill your yeast, or if nothing else, it'll like drastically slow it down, so kill most of it. so you won't get as good a results. I use our Brita filter, or not a Brita, Culligan filter for my yeast starters. Or like I said, if I have a bottle of water, I'll just use that. So just a quick tip, something I wanted to mention before, and I completely forgot. So no tap water. Hey guys, I don't know what happened, but somehow I lost the end of that last video. So luckily we had most of it done. I just didn't. I didn't get a chance to show you what it was like after it had risen for a couple hours, and then show you what I did with it. So I'm putting together another video after this one that will basically show you a continuation. I'm going to show it after a few days, and then I make a calzone with it. So stay tuned for that, and we'll talk to you soon.